Hello and welcome back to Driftwood Narrative. Tonight, find a soft pillow and a cozy blanket and let yourself get comfortable. We're going to share a very old and very sweet story from a time of castles and kings. It's a quiet tale about a prince, a mysterious princess, and a tiny, tiny pea. Once upon a time, there was a prince. He was a very good prince and a very handsome prince, and he wanted more than anything to marry a real princess. Not just a girl from a royal family, you see, but a princess who was a true princess, through and through, with a heart and a spirit as sensitive and gentle as a dewdrop. So the prince travelled all over the world, far and wide, to find her. He visited magnificent castles and sailed across great shimmering oceans. He met many princesses from many different kingdoms. They were all lovely and they all had polite manners, but something was always a little bit wrong. One was a little too boisterous, another a little too quiet. He couldn't quite feel in his heart that they were true princesses. And so, after a long, long time, he came home again. Very sad, for he wanted so badly to find his true princess. One night, as he sat gazing out his window, a terrible storm began. The lightning flashed like a quick silver stitch in the dark fabric of the sky, and the thunder rumbled, shaking the very stones of the castle. The rain poured down in great heavy sheets, and the wind howled and moaned, whipping the trees back and forth. It was a very wild and wet night indeed. Suddenly, through the noise of the storm, a loud and persistent knock came at the castle gate. The old king, who was a kind and gentle man, went to open the door, and there, standing in the rain, was a girl. The water was streaming down her long hair and her fine but ruined clothes. It ran in little silver rivulets down her nose and dripped from her fingertips. She looked as though she had been caught in the storm for a very long time, but her eyes held a steady, certain sparkle. "I am a princess," she said, her voice soft but clear and determined. "I am a true princess." The old queen, who was a very clever and very observant woman, came to the door. She looked at the girl, so wet and dishevelled, and she looked at the stormy night outside. A small, knowing smile played on her lips. "Well," she thought to herself, "we shall soon find that out." She didn't say a word, but she went to the bedroom and began to prepare a bed for the girl. First, she took all the bedclothes off the bed. Then, she placed one tiny, small green pea right in the middle of the bed frame. It was a pea so small, you might have thought it was a little bead. Then, the queen began to pile on the mattresses. She took 20 mattresses, one by one, and placed them on top of the pea. They were mattresses of fine wool and soft horsehair, and on top of those mattresses, she piled 20 soft goose-down feather beds. They were so fluffy and plump that the bed rose up almost to the ceiling. That was the bed the mysterious princess was given for the night. She climbed the steps up to the very top, and she lay down to rest. In the morning, the queen went to see the girl. She brought a warm cup of tea and sat on a chair nearby. "My dear," she said gently, "how did you sleep?" The girl sighed and rubbed her tired eyes. "Oh, not very well at all," she replied, her voice filled with a weary sadness. "I don't think I closed my eyes the whole night. I lay on something so hard that my whole body is black and blue. It was quite dreadful and so very uncomfortable." The king, the queen, and the prince looked at one another with great delight. They knew then that she was a true princess. Only a princess of such delicate and sensitive nature would have been able to feel a tiny, small pea through 20 thick mattresses and 20 soft feather beds. Her story and her feelings were a testament to her truth. And so the prince knew he had finally found his true princess. He married her, and they lived happily ever after in a castle filled with peace and quiet comfort. The tiny pea, the one that proved her to be a real princess, was carefully placed in a museum, where it can still be seen today. The story of the princess and the pea reminds us that sometimes it's a person's inner sensitivity and authenticity that proves their true worth. The feeling of being truly comfortable and at peace in your own bed is a wonderful thing, and it's a gift that every true heart deserves. Now take a deep, soft breath and let yourself drift away into a peaceful sleep. Until next time, sweet dreams.